The Puente project recognizes that UC Berkeley sits on the territory of the Chichun, the original landscape of the Chochenko-speaking Ohlone people, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Alameda County. This region continues to be of great importance to the Muweka Ohlone tribe and other familial descendants of the Verona Band. We recognize that every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since the institution's founding in 1968. Consistent with our values of community, inclusion, and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationship to the Native peoples. So, Puentistas, my question is, what does that mean to you? We are right now in the middle of the month of November, which is traditionally the Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month. And it's a special time of year. It's a time for us to acknowledge where we are, our legacy, the ancestors that stood before us, our connection to the earth. And as leaders in your communities, being aware about some of the issues that happen and are happening to our communities. Take time this week, if you can, find out what native land your school is sitting on. Find out a little bit more about your ancestors, about the ancestors of the people and the places where you inhabit, and make it meaningful. Recognize that Native peoples are still suffering, they still exist, they are still struggling, but they have resilience, they have love, and you can also make a difference. So Puentistas, have a great day, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our interim secondary lead and director, Ms. Josefina Conchola.
Morning, Puentistas. We are so excited that you're joining us today, and thank you for taking the Saturday to be here with some amazing leaders. I have the privilege of introducing a dear friend, an amazing statewide leader, Mr. Leonard Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez is from Southern California, and he was raised with his two brothers by his single mom. Mr. Sanchez graduated from Cal State University, San Bernardino, with a bachelor's degree in English literature. Mr. Sanchez is entering his 20th year as a teacher and currently teaches at Chaffey High School. He is in the English department at his own alma mater. So he actually graduated from the school that he is now teaching at and teaches newcomer and English learners. He also coaches tennis, basketball, and is the Mecha Club advisor. Mr. Sanchez is also the vice president of the board of the Chicano Latino Youth Leadership Project, which is one of the premier or the premier leadership institutes for the state of California that has been bright and alive for the last 40 years. And his family was actually the founding members of the organization. But Mr. Sanchez also has a second role, a very important role to us, which is that he is now also working for the California Department of Education with State Superintendent Tony Thurman. And he's helping develop and establish a youth advisory committee to further empower high school students throughout the state of California to give all of youth a voice in education policy. There are no accidents in the universe. It is no accident that he teaches at Chaffey, and there is no accident that you're connecting him with him today. It is my privilege again to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Mr. Leonard Sanchez.
Oh, thank you, Josefina. I am excited to be here today. I am going to share quite a bit with you, actually. So we're going to talk today about what we can do, right? What can I do now? I'm excited to be here today. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna jump right in and let you know a little bit about myself. Thank you for the beautiful introduction, Josefina. It was, I'm gonna go into a little more detail with it, talk about growing up. I share this picture often when I speak because it speaks a lot to my family, my background. I grew up, my father was in the military and was in the Vietnam War. I'll share a lot more about him later. But I was here in Barstow, crashed out in a high chair. And instead of putting me to bed, my mom went and got a camera. This is pre-cell phone days, right? Where she had to get a camera, take a picture, take it to the store to get developed. I don't know what they fed me in that big menudo bowl with rice, it looks like, in there, but I knocked out, right? Probably still happens today after I eat. But I love my mom. We ended up being brought up by my mom. My dad was not around after maybe about 3 years old or so. And so we were brought up with a single mom, my brother and I, Miguel. And my mom was very young. She was 17 when she got married and 19 when she had me. And my brother and I are a year apart, but we're tight. Like, we are the stereotypical mama's boys, right? Our wives make fun of us all the time. But we had a big family. My mom had a major support system, right? We have a big family. Here we are at one of our celebrations. This is when I graduated from college. And this is my more immediate family. My mom ended up remarrying. She had my brother Bobby, and she had my brother Kyle. So I have 3 brothers. I have a sister from my dad's side. And this is our, like I said, more our immediate family. We have Sunday dinner at grandma's house. This is a pretty normal Sunday. And, I think we're here, we're celebrating my uncle's birthday. And like I said, pretty normal Sunday, big family. We love each other. And we're a good support network for each other. And then my own family, right? My girls, I have 2 girls. Here's Olivia and Sophia. And I share this because it says a lot about their personalities. Olivia's the rule follower, right? Everybody's turning, Olivia's turning. Sophia is gonna go like the opposite way, and she's gonna turn when she wants to turn, right? And we do a lot with our girls, right? There's my wife. I'll share more about her specifically in a few moments. We like to cook. I have a huge passion for sports. I would take my girls when they were little. I played a lot of handball. I would take them to the courts with me. And I love to play golf. I would take them to the golf course. And as they got older, they're actually now, Sophia here on the left is a senior in high school, and Olivia graduated last year and is now currently at the University of Hawaii in Hilo, which is a great place, by the way. And they still play sports with me, right? I shared this passion with them. Sophia's on the golf team at school, and nothing greater than a dad being able to play golf with his teenage daughter, right? So want to share a little passion here. Also, I want you to pick, right? Like Angels or Dodgers, or if you have another team, go ahead and put that in the chat right now. So pick a side. I'm a SoCal guy. When the Angels, I like the Angels. I like the Dodgers, right? When they play each other, I gotta pick a side, right? So let me scroll down here. Oh man, Angels all the way. I like it. The Oakland A's, yeah, by Bay Area people, right? Nice. Los Dodgers, I like it. Beautiful. So when they play each other, I pick a side. I go with the Dodgers, right? How about basketball, right? You got a basketball team, lay them down, right? Pick a side or tell us yours, right? The Warriors, of course. Nice. Lakers. Well, for me, when they play each other, I root for the Clippers, believe it or not. Grew up a Laker fan, but now followed the Clippers. It was always a lot easier to get tickets, right? Back in the day when they weren't very good. But I enjoy sports, right? I enjoy sports. It's a passion of mine. I found a job where I can coach and teach and work with athletes. And I'm going back to my girls because they have a passion for dance. Here they are with their folklorico troops. They still dance to this day. This is just before the shutdown, and I think it was 2018 or 2019. And here they are. This was Dia de los Muertos of 2019, and they still dance now, which is really kind of cool. My wife here, I'll talk more about her in a minute. Her whole family has a passion for walking and running. We try to hit the trail whenever we can, and got a passion for eating, right? I love to go out to eat with my girls. There we are at Costco, and I love spending time with my girls. And part of the reason I think I learned this later on is, let me back up here. They also get to come to school with me, which is great for my job, my career. It was something that I had planned, right? And part of the reason is my dad, right? I mentioned that my dad was not around. I knew my dad, but he had a tough time. He was in the Vietnam War. He dealt with alcoholism and drug abuse, and he was a good dude. He was life of the party, but he struggled to be a committed husband and father. And my mom would often tell me, I have very few pictures of him actually, but my sister sent this one to me, and my mom would often tell me, like, you look like your dad, you know, and especially like when I grow a beard, right? I look a lot like my dad. And you know, I have a lot of his tendencies, a lot of his the way he talks, right? But you know, later he became a wonderful grandfather to my kids. And unfortunately, when he was in Vietnam, he was wounded and he had 3 Purple Hearts. He ended up leaving the Marine Corps as a sergeant, and then in 2013, he passed away on Veterans Day, which still blows my mind, because he dealt with so many issues from the military. And for him to pass away on Veterans Day, you know, I think, again, we often say no accidents, right? And he was only 65, right? So he's pretty young in to pass away of natural causes. He died in his sleep. And so although my dad wasn't around much, I was blessed with a lot of mentors, right? Here's my Uncle Chuck. When we were little kids, I mean, he was really influential in my life, helped me with work. He owns a business. I got to work with him for a while. Here's my Uncle Anthony. He was my coach playing baseball, and he helped me get my first job. This is the guy who taught me how to shave, even though I didn't shave today, right? And he's the one who taught me how to drive, taught me how to ride a motorcycle. Very influential in my life. And I have some other mentors. This is my father-in-law. He has always treated me like his own son, right? And we did a lot together. He's the one that introduced me to handball. We would run a lot of 5Ks together. We ran the LA Marathon one time together. And he was an amazing man. And he really took me under his wing and treated me like one of his sons. His compadre, Big Al there in the back, another father figure, mentor, somebody that I can go to, right? These guys right here, this is my father-in-law's other compadre. His name is David Garcia also. And Tony Alvarez here, another just father figure mentor that I can talk to, I can go to, and they've been influential in helping me. And then unfortunately, last December, my father-in-law passed away, literally earned his wings, right, from COVID. And it was a tough time for our whole family going through COVID. And it was a tough time for me personally, right? I struggled with online teaching, and you know, it was just the whole time, right? I was so happy to come back to work, back to school, back to work with students, right? And but I've been thankful, right? And I want to take a minute for you right now. Let's thank somebody, right? Go ahead and I know sometimes it's frowned upon, don't get on your phone, right? But go ahead and send a message right now. I'm going to do it as well, right? I'm going to send a message. I'm going to send one to my mom, actually. We're going to talk more about my mom in a few minutes. All right. There we go. I sent a message to my mom. You can see my mom. We're always texting back and forth with a lot of hearts, a lot of love, right? And told her what I'm doing today and sent her a message, right? And go ahead and put that in the chat too. Who did you thank right now, right? I'm going to send mine set up for everyone. So I thanked my mom. Okay. I love it. A lot of mamas out there, friends, my dad, awesome. The homie, I like it. Our parents are influential, right? Our parents have a lot to do with our success as well, right? So I'm gonna transition to another passion, right? And my educational path. So from high school, I went to community college and actually struggled a little bit. I spent 10 years at the college, but in high school, I had an idea that I should be a teacher, right? At an early age, there was a class offered here at my school. I was a baseball coach for my little brothers, but I didn't realize that. And again, I thought I had to have it figured out. And I toiled 10 years at community college, eventually transferred and got my bachelor's degree from Cal State San Bernardino in English literature, and then went to California Baptist University in Riverside to get my teaching credentials. I have a credential in special education, and I have a single subject English credential. And then currently, I'm actually back in school right now, working on my educational leadership credential and master's. And I'm doing it online through Western Governors University, and they're based out of Utah. So I'll let you kind of read through this. I'll talk about other points. You know, finding my calling, right? My call, I didn't know when I was in high school what my calling was. And again, toiled, you can see, graduate 89, not till 2000 did I graduate Chaffey College, but then I caught fire and it was on, right? Then I got my English degree, got my credentials, and I had to learn a lot about transfer, about financial aid. I literally went to the information booth at Cal State San Bernardino and said, I graduated Chaffey College, how can I sign up here? I heard this is the school I go to next. And this is pre-internet, right? And but resources now, as opposed to back then, are much different, right? And having done that and graduated, I think a lot about the impact on my family, right? On my personal family. After I graduated high school, I went to work at Stater Brothers, and I was a grocery clerk for 12 years, right? And that's where I met my wife. And my wife and I have been married now for 27 years. And at one point we decided, okay, somebody's got to go back to school. We had a great job, but we knew we had more for us, more to offer. And I knew I wanted to teach by then. And my wife said, okay, you go back to school and I'll support you. And then I started teaching, and my wife went back to school, and she graduated from Chaffey College as well, and eventually from the University of Laverne. And, but we've had more of an impact, right? My brother went back to school and he graduated from Chaffey College. And he actually, this picture is a few years ago. He got some certificates and an AA, and now he's actually pursuing a bachelor's degree and getting ready to transfer as well. My younger brother, Bobby, graduated from Cal Poly, Pomona, and he got a business degree, right? Even my mom went back to school and graduated from Chaffey College with an associate's degree in gerontology. So I wanted you to think about, right? Think about the impact that you can have on your family, right? And I want to see in the chat again, who has inspired you, right? Who has had an impact on you, right? I mentioned my uncle, but I know that there is also a man named Dennis Ruiz that had an impact on me. He was the Mecha advisor when I was in high school. You know, and we all these people come in different phases of our life. All these people can be related or just in our networks, right? Yeah, I see a lot of brothers and uncles. That's beautiful, right? A section lead from band, nice. Mom and dad, love it. Older sisters, my aunt. Wow. These are really cool. A foster parent, beautiful. I love it. So think about that. Think about the impact that you can have, right? So what's next? I want to try and give you some tools here, right? On trying to figure things out for yourself, right? Identifying your passion, finding your passion, finding your calling, right? It may not happen overnight. I knew my passions growing up, like I said, sports earlier. When I found out they paid coaches, I was like, oh, I can do that and get paid? Yes, let's do it. Finding your calling. It may not happen overnight. That's okay. You don't have to have it figured out right now, but definitely take advantage of your resources, right? You're already here now. You're here on the first day of vacation for many of you, and woke up early to get on. And I love that you have your cameras on, and you're here. Take advantage of everything that's available, right? And know that there are those available to help you, regardless of your circumstances. Know that there are people, if you are a lower socioeconomic status, right? I remember for us with a single mom, we have food stamps, was now called EBT. I remember opening our fridge and having like literally a half gallon of milk, a block of cheese, and some tortillas. Like literally that was all in our fridge. But there are a lot of resources for food now, right? There are a lot of resources for your mental health, right? If you're struggling with something, I mentioned I was struggling, and I called Kaiser and said, struggling at work, and they helped me, right? If you are undocumented, we have a lot of resources, especially here in California, right? So what can I do? Get involved, right? That's a huge, huge thing for high school students, junior high students. If there's not a club or activity that you like or want, start one, right? Go to your administrator, go to a teacher, go to a counselor and say, I want to start this club. And they'll walk you through the process, right? And you can do these things, you know, field trips, events through your club, right? And then share what you're doing. What does this look like? I'll share some of our Mecha activities that we do. I want you to take note of this picture because this is after graduation. We used to have to hide our sashes. We could not wear them out. It was a district mandate that you could not wear regalia. And you could only wear whatever the school sponsored or gave to you, right? Or that you purchased from the school. And we could not wear our sarape sashes at that time. And but our Mecha Club is very active. We go on field trips. We go on the train to LA quite often. We have to fundraise to do all these things, right? We go to colleges. We visited UCR here. We get to see speakers whenever there's a speaker locally. We try to go see that speaker. We got to see Dolores Huerta, right? And then share what you're doing. Talk to your administrators, talk to your principal or assistant principal, get involved with ASB at your school, not just as a popularity contest, but as I want to have an impact on my school. Go to school board meetings and invite the school board members to the things that you're doing, right? And there's a process for public comments. It's open. Again, what does this look like? At our school, we created a Si Se Puede assembly where we shared information, had a keynote speaker, and then it developed into Si Se Puede week, where we had smaller events, but more throughout the week. We had professors from local colleges. This is Professor Sandoval from Cal State Northridge that curated a lowrider exhibit at the Peterson Automotive Museum. We got to go see the exhibit, and she hosted us. We do now Si Se Puede events. It's all year. So this is an evolution of about 5 to 6 years, where now, like, we had a poetry slam. We had Superintendent Thurman come and speak to us. We hosted our 5th annual Dia de los exhibit in our library, and we have an opening ceremony for that. And then we share, here we are at a school board meeting. We share what we're doing, and we invite the school board members, come and see the work that we're doing, right? That's important, right? Because you can have an impact on your community as well. You can organize events and things that are important to you culturally, right? That are important to you as a student, okay? You can create your own graduation ceremony. Remember I mentioned the sashes. This is we had a small group of Metro graduates this one year, and it grew. This was the whole graduation ceremony. And then it started to grow, where this is just the graduates. And our students went to our administration and said, we want to wear our sashes out at graduation. And we provided the evidence of why it's important. And they did it. They said, okay, you can wear your sashes out now. And it took our students to advocate for themselves to do this, right? We organized a graduation walk at a local elementary school. Many of these students went to this elementary school. This was an amazing event. And again, think about the impact, right? The impact that you can have on your community, right? And having these young students see you as a graduate, right? You can connect with programs. You're already here again, right? You're already here. But there are other programs like CLYLP, the Chicano Latino Youth Leadership Project, where we take 120 high school sophomores and juniors to Sacramento for a week-long leadership institute. It's a life-changing experience, right? All free of charge for this program, but you have to apply, right? There are many other programs locally, like for us, the Inland Empire Future Leaders, throughout the state. Our school just started a Young Black Scholars chapter. Our local senator, Senator Connie Leyva, has the Young Senators program through her office. And as Josefina mentioned earlier, I'm working with the state superintendent on his initiative to develop a youth advisory council. I have the link up here, and I will make sure we get that shared in the chat as well, because you can apply to this program. We're looking for students to be active, right? We want to hear from the student perspective, what are the needs in education, right? Superintendent Thurman has a vision to have students literally sitting at the governor's desk and letting him know, what are our concerns? What are our needs, right? From the student perspective. And why do all this? This is what we want, right? This is what we want. The success of graduating. We want this feeling that is expressed in this picture, because we want you to graduate, right? But we also want you to go to college, yeah? But that's not enough. We need you to graduate college also, right? So what can I do? You can start making a difference today, right? You're here now. You're already part of this youth leadership, right? And you can start doing this now. Okay. So thank you. I have my contact information here. Please feel free to screenshot it. That is my cell number. Okay. Don't be shy. If you have questions or need help, and if I can't help you, I'll find somebody who can, right? I talked about starting clubs, talked about creating activities, creating events. These are things that you might need to navigate, right? And if you don't have somebody that you can contact me. We'll start and we'll see what we can do. Okay. All right. We have a little bit of time here for some questions. I don't know if somebody wants to monitor in the chat, or you can put a question in the chat, or you can unmute and speak as well. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. There we go. All right. Yes, I see Josefina's comment also. Yeah, make sure you mention that you are a Puentista. No.
How do you join the program?
All right. So the program, I mentioned two in particular, CLLP and the Youth Advisory Council, both require an application, right? I'm going to put CLLP. CLLP is a statewide organization. And then I'm going to put the link to the Youth Advisory Council in the chat as well. This link will take you to their Instagram page. And in their Instagram page, in the bio, there's a link to the application. Now, that application is actually due Monday, but it's not very intense. You can get it done, I would say, within one sitting in about an hour. You have to provide some information about yourself. You have to write a little origin story. He says one paragraph. You're looking at a couple hundred words total for the 2 or 3 items that you write for. And then you make a 1-minute video, right? Think of it making a little TikTok of yourself to sell yourself to the Youth Advisory Council. Nice. Puente events. Nice. So what kind of Puente events? I would say, like at your school, like I mentioned, our Dia de los Muertos exhibit. Our school does a Dia de los Muertos exhibit in our library. We have to get approval for that every year. We have to fill out paperwork through our activities office. And I'm sure most schools operate in the same manner. And if you have your Puente teacher kind of help you guide through, if we want to have this event, you know, how can we do it? What can we do? A lot of our events for our Metro Club here are student driven. You know, I ask students, what do you want to do? What's important to you? What are we going to do? And then we start developing those ideas, and then we start putting in the work to get those done.
All
Nice.
right.
Getting involved in your community. I love that question, right? I shared our grad walk. There are a lot of opportunities to get involved for youth. We created the grad walk. I think somebody saw it online somewhere in social media, and we're like, let's do this. And I said, let's do it. We recently helped a local city council member who's actually going to run for mayor. We helped him with his campaign. We helped him address Christmas cards and flyers for him. So there are things that you can do within your community as well. Look for community events, right? I know in our city, we have a Christmas on Euclid, they call it. And we don't do it every year, but we put in for a booth, just an information booth, a nonprofit information booth. And we share about our program to our community.
Thank you so much, Leonard, for all of those wonderful suggestions. And also, thank you so much for sharing your journey. It's a very inspiring story. And we hope that we can also, bring you back sometime to talk to more of our Puentistas, because what you say is really valuable. And we super appreciate you being here on a Saturday morning and spending time with us. I loved the idea of the Si Se Puede week. That sounds so powerful. And, you know, even if you were to start with at your school, like a Si Se Puede day, like how impactful would that be? And so thank you for all of those ideas. And also the opportunities. We know that the organization and the two opportunities you mentioned, how important those are. And we hope and encourage all of the Puentistas to apply. So thank you again. And you're getting some love in the chat, and we're going to go ahead and move on to our Action Now workshops.
Beautiful. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. So we have a few Action Now workshops. We're going to go ahead and get in our smaller breakout rooms. We're going to hear from our different groups, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. First, we have Eden from Cultura for the People. And I'm just going to ask Eden if she can just give like a 1-minute description or quick description about what your workshop will look like.
Cool, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. I'm just gonna share with you what helped. Oh, there you go, there's a tape there. Good morning, y'all. I'm on the lonely land right here in Oakland. My family migrated from the Philippines, and I'm gonna share with you organizing work I do here in Oakland, doing like teatro, cultural work, and how I survived law school and grad school when I went down to UCLA, organizing in the streets, fighting the prison system, working with folks who, you know, sin papeles, sin miedo, organizing at the detention centers, also in Hawaii, around Mauna Kea. Just want to share what culture in action looks like. That cultural work is not just a poem you add at the end of the event, but that it's how we talk to each other, right? It's our palabra, it's how we interact with each other, it's how we use all of our wisdom through song, through dance, to motivate, to have an analysis, and to get busy to change our lives. So if that's interesting to you, look forward to joining you in that session. Wherever you are, we're rooting for you, and we're excited for you, and just happy to be here with you. Good morning.
Awesome. Thank you, Eden. Next up, we have Youth versus Apocalypse. Carolyn, Anaya, and Lizbeth, if you could go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what will be happening in your workshop.
Hey y'all, we had a little leader switch up. So today it's actually going to be me, Carolyn, and Dulce. But hey y'all, my name is Isha. I use they, them pronouns. And I'm actually coming to y'all from Washington, DC right now. But I am originally from Oakland, California, also a lonely land. And yeah, our workshop today is going to be talking to y'all a little bit about what Youth versus Apocalypse is and the work that the climate justice work that we do, and you know, tactics for organizing. Like what does this word organizing actually mean? What does it look like in action? And how is climate justice connected to you know, other systems of oppression that we understand? Dulce, do you want to add anything to that?
No, not really, but I guess I could introduce myself. Hi everyone, my name is Dulce. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm currently living in San Martin, also in Ohlone territory. And yeah. Oh, and I used to be a Puente student. Carolyn, do you want to?
Sure. Hi, my name is Carolyn. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an adult supporter with Youth versus Apocalypse, and I'm mostly going to be here to screen share today. But I'm excited to be with y'all. And I'm also a money man in Oakland.
All right. Thank you, Youth versus Apocalypse. And the last workshop that you'll have to choose from is with Tere from Poder. And Tere, could you introduce yourself and a little bit about your organization?
Hi, my name is Tere, she, her. I am on Ramata Shaloni land, Yelamu, otherwise known as San Francisco. And we're going to be talking about our Pueblote campaign. Pueblo meaning the people, lote meaning land, and how our youth-led youth organizing program work to reclaim 6 acres of land in San Francisco for a community garden. And so we're going to be looking at a zine that the youth created and then reflecting on what are ways in which we could do that within our own communities.
Okay, this is gonna, thank you, Tere. This is gonna be a really tough choice, but go ahead. I wish I could go to all the workshops, but I'm gonna ask for you to choose one of the 3 workshops. We're gonna go ahead and open up the breakout rooms. You'll either go to Cultura for the People with Eden, Youth versus Apocalypse, or Poder. So go ahead and choose one of your breakout rooms and you'll have a chance to interact with these wonderful folks. So
Are sha, which is really cool in Tagalog. Sha is both he and she. My ancestors were so cool. There was no gender. So everybody is sha. Where is sha? Like, where is she? Where is he? It's the same word, yo. It doesn't matter what your biology is. They, she, papi. So my gender is pretty fluid. I'm Filipinx. My family migrated from the Philippines, and I'm over here in the Lonely Land. If you just got here, I'm asking y'all to do the following. Check out the chat. We're going to interact through the chat. Please type your name, age, gender, heritage, location in the chat. If you're like, what? What do you mean, Eden? Here, do it like me. Do it like me. Thank you, Guadalupe, Salas, Carmona. Oh, excuse me, everyone come with the names. Where y'all at? Welcome, Sharon, Lucas, Brenda, Alondra, Rolando. Is it Talesha? Talisha, or E? Coming from any of you. Talisha, Melissa, Brenda again. ¿Quién más? Oh, y'all are on it. Vanessa, Evelyn, Destiny, Kiara, or is it Kiara? Kiara.
you said it right, it's Kiara.
Kiara, like that?
Yeah.
Cool. Kiara, Faith, Lisa, Fiona. Is it Zulette? Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Zulette. It's just gonna rhyme all morning. Joy, is that how you say that? Joie?
It's Joey.
Joey, thank you very much. Always happy to be giving correct information. Evan or Evan, Ashley, Crystal, or is it Cristal? Alexa, Emilia, Darlene. Oh, we're thick in this group. We even got Anna up in here. What? All right, party people, welcome. Check out who we have in here. 15, 16, 17, 13. How beautiful. What a beautiful way to start my day. Welcome, welcome. All right. And where we coming from? Hayward, Antioch, Riverside, what? Whittier, I was born in downtown LA, so there's that. Anaheim, sorry for you out there in Anaheim. Newark, what? Mecca. I don't even know. I'm on Mecca. I just know in the Middle East. I don't even know about no Mecca. Westminster. So there was a mall out there. This Corona. We out in the cut. We got a little bit of Oakland. We're neighbors. Let's do the Zoom together. Pasadena, Santa Fe Springs. Okay, welcome. How beautiful. Cali Unite, yo. All right, check it out. You just shared a little bit. Thank you for doing that. I'm gonna get into sharing my screen, okay? Here we go. How do we do this? You're gonna have to help me to know if what I'm doing is looking right. Does that look okay, y'all? Everyone see this? Someone help me out, yeah?
Yep, looks
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Looks good, y'all. And I see, so I'm just gonna give you a quick chance. If you don't have anything, it's all good. But if you do, then cool. I can't find my mouse anymore. What do you want to know about me? So the point of this with a hot seat is I'm actually gonna ask you to go a little deep with our very minimal time. For all we know, this is the only time we're ever gonna have together in life. So for me, it's mad precious. If all I get is 30 minutes with you and I never interact with you for the rest of your life, I really pray that this is a valuable 30 minutes. So check this out. I'm gonna go deep with you. So I wanna model for that. I would never ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. So just gonna give you a couple minutes real quick. I got my timer. Throw in the chat or just say out loud if you have any question for me that I'm happy to answer.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Is there a symbolic meaning to your tattoos?
Yeah, so my family all migrated from the Philippines, and this is the Kalinga tattoo. So it's a necklace, shoulder straps, and sleeves. In the back of my sleeve, I got some water, but the rest of it, as you can see, it's like honeycomb or sacred geometry. So when I was in Oakland, I was getting ready to go to grad school and law school in LA. And I earned this after 7 years in Oakland, working in all the juvenile halls, all the high schools, and with hella Black and brown grassroots organizations. And I wanted to go into grad school and law school. I did a master's in urban planning. I got my Juris Doctor, like my JD, both from UCLA. I wanted to know that when you know, in front of a judge, I can button up my shirt and you can't see my tattoo. So they can't be making judgments on me. But when I'm naked, I can't forget who I am, right? When I look in the mirror and I'm all alone, I remember that I decided to go into the ivory tower. I decided to go to college, not because I'm trying to be like somebody else or just to make money, but because I understand my people were colonized, because I understand my homeland was invaded, because I understand my people were murdered, were hurt, were harmed, were took. Our land was used to produce things for other people in Europe instead of my own people to eat. And I have a duty, and I'm so honored to still be alive because a lot of us were murdered, no? So that's why I have this tattoo. I was really nervous about going into grad school and law school and forgetting who I am, because it's really easy to forget who you are when you get distracted. So that's why I have this tattoo. What else you want to know? What do you need to know so we can move forward? What was your inspiration to being a lawyer? What was in my inspiration to be a lawyer? Oh, I'm going to talk about that through my presentation today, but let me just go over these questions right quick. What I want to know about you is, what was your deepest struggle so far in your life journey? What was college experience like? How did you know what you wanted to, I'm assuming major in, not mayor in, but I'm also down to mayor in my own little hood way. What do you do for a living, like work? Have you ever gone through a time where it was difficult to forgive someone, but went through the phase of self-healing? Oh my gosh, this is like a beautiful therapy session. What did you wish you had known in high school? What makes you the happiest in life, or what do you like to do with your free time? That's amazing. I love your stuff. Okay, cool. I went to law school because my auntie died from cancer. My former partner's auntie died from cancer. My mom barely survived cancer. A lot of my young people's families were being deported. My young people were at threat of being deported. My mom came to this country with after being a baby catcher, a doctor in the Philippines at 24, but when she came to this country, they didn't count her doctorate, so she had to start from scratch, and she was just an office assistant. Sorry, I didn't mean to say just. I just meant that she was a doctor and they don't count it. They were racist against my mama. So I had all these reasons to be like, let me go in on the legal system. Let me figure this thing out, because when I would organize, y'all, we never had an attorney to help us. And if they did, they would either be like white or like middle class. So they didn't always understand what we were talking about, even though they wanted to help us, or they would just be burnt out. Even the Black and brown attorneys were so tired, they could never help us out. And I'm really praying that I can help, support maybe some of y'all to get into this profession, not to just make money and further exploit us and to make contracts to help big businesses, but rather to protect us, defend us, reunite our families, get our rights to our land back, to water. You feel me? I'll say some quick ones. Happiest in life. This kind of work, honestly. Being with people, playing, eating, dancing. I love to dance. What did I wish I had known in high school? That there were people who would have helped me because I didn't eat regularly. I didn't have stable housing. I wish I would have known that maybe there was somebody who could help us with food. I just didn't know that. And I was scared because my mom, we didn't want CPS, Child Protective Services, to separate my sister, my mom and me. But I wish I would have known I could have asked for help without being scared. And yeah, I'm going through a difficult time right now forgiving my cousin, my uncle, and my auntie. And sadly, it comes down to money. And I've been healing it by remembering how hurt they've gotten, that they're probably being mean to me or hurtful to me because someone hurt them. And that if I hold this grudge, I can really divide my family. So I'm really trying hard to find some way to forgive them so I don't lose my family and I don't create more tension. And what I do for a living, you're going to see it as I show you these pictures. How did I know what I wanted to major in? I listened to my heart, yo. I had all these other things. Oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I ended up teaching theater of all things. It's so weird. And college was the best. It was awesome. I got free. I got to be queer. I was so scared of being gay. You know, we didn't have no Modern Family or, you know, Steven Universe. We didn't have no queerness as a regular thing. I was terrified. I didn't want anyone to kill me. You understand? I didn't want anyone to not like me. And college let me be queer, let me be free, and taught me where my people came from. And the deepest struggle so far in my life journey, I think it's really accepting that my family passed on a lot of trauma to me. My family has survived a lot, and they were kind of not always nice to me, even though they did everything they could to love on me. And so my deepest struggle is to not do the same hurtful things they did to me to anybody else, and to find another way to communicate or another way to win without having to be as abusive and harmful. I think that's a hard struggle because I want to have power too, and I'm learning I don't need to have power by hurting people. Okay, that was a lot. Is that cool? Can we move forward? Y'all feel like you got something from me? All right, I'm okay with busting myself out because I'm gonna make you do it too in a second. I'm gonna keep moving, all right? Welcome, y'all. Okay, here we go. Boom. Next up, yes, you're welcome. Here we go. Check in, drop it in the chat, party people. I'm gonna break this down for you. I wanna know, what is one idea, lesson, or belief? Hear me out. An idea, a lesson, or belief from your culture. And your culture might be your heritage. It might be what your family's like. It might be because you're an athlete, whatever it is. What is one idea, lesson, or belief from your culture that either helps or benefits you or hurts/burdens you? I'm gonna help you out with this. So one idea in my family, unfortunately, was that if a child was not acting right, you beat them. You physically beat them. And that was a burden and a hurt because my mom thought she was teaching me discipline, but what she actually taught me was violence. You know what I mean? And what she actually taught me was that I couldn't trust nobody. And she taught me that I better get ready to hit back. One idea, lesson, belief that helps me is that that we're a team. My family instilled in me to think about the group, that we protect each other, that we defend each other, that we love on each other. Boom. So for you, whether it's because you're Mexicano or because you're Dene or because you're part of this or that culture or group, whatever it is, what's one either lesson, idea, belief that you think that that you've been taught or that's around you that either helps you grow, benefits you, or hurts you, kind of puts you down. I'm gonna give you 1 minute for that. Go ahead and throw that in the chat, pretty please. You got 1 minute, party people. Let's go. $50 seconds. I dare you to tell the truth. For those of you who are audio learners, what is one idea or a lesson or a belief from your culture that you think either helps you or hurts you? Something that either benefits you or burdens you. You can pick. 22 seconds, party people. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, good morning. Wrapping up with 5 seconds. I'm gonna start reading. Everybody do me a favor. If you got a nose, you got a mouth, take a big breath like, if you're in Puente, I'm guessing you're about that life. You're grinding, you care, you're trying to get your future in order. So I'm guessing you also are carrying a lot, whether it's for your family, you got to feed your siblings, or you're helping with a sick parent, or you're just helping out at school. So take 2 more breaths. Help yourself. Bring this next piece of oxygen to some body part that needs hella oxygen, like. I'm going to share these out. So breathe while you hear this. For some of us, this might be triggering. This might be a lot to hear some of this stuff. So take a breath. And I appreciate you all ahead of time for sharing. One belief, that women should bear children and obey men and wait on them hand and foot. Me and my sisters break that belief of men being superior and overcome it. What? I think mine is that every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. Whoa, that helps me because it allows me to open up and forgive my mother. LOL. Word. Women has to clean while the man goes to work burdens me, right? Me too. It is okay and normal to show emotions and feelings. Beautiful benefit. I think it was living in a culture where no one really talked about their feelings. Everyone just kept to themselves and emotions kind of seemed like a weakness. Woo. One belief from my culture is the machismo mentality, which hurts me and tries to force many of us to follow the gender roles, right? Over it. In football, we get in trouble. Instead of making us run endlessly, our coach makes us sit and watch our team run so we don't get better, and they do. Oh, dang, let's go better. A belief in my family that hurt and burdened me was that the oldest child, me, had to be part-time parent to the younger siblings. Ouch. I'm really sorry you missed out on some of your childhood, and I really hope you get to play a lot. We're going to play a little bit here. An idea that women should be married. An idea that hurts me is that people believe women have to do what the man says. Yep. Down with patriarchy. I actually am not sure. That's okay, Melissa. That's what we're going to think about that, right? Because there is culture all around you, and it's just about noticing it. The fact that men are stronger and work harder, therefore, for example, when we are eating traditionally, the man gets served first and women last, right? And the reality is women are way stronger. You know how much power it takes to have a whole human being come out of your body part? That is a lot of strength to carry another life in your body for months, to deal with people's feelings all the time. Like, women are just strong. We're buff. We're fit. A lesson from my culture that hurts me was bottling my feelings and not allowing anyone in. Seeing crying as a vulnerability. Yo, man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. They lied to us. Having your feelings is one of the healthiest things you can do. Let me tell you why. Anyone have an idea what happens if you hold your pee-pee or you hold your poo-poo? If you do not urinate, if you do not caca, guess what happens? You get sick and die. Same thing with your feelings. Emotions are like, feelings are like emotional poo-poo and pee-pee. You need to clear them or they will get you sick. Take that. The machismo of my community, which is harmful for many. Yes, because we're not naming the problem, but we're getting hurt. This is beautiful, y'all. We're almost there. Because my last name and my skin color, I am nothing close to being Mexican, or there is a specific image of being of Latin fit into or was constantly doubted. Ouchie, right? I'm sorry, and I really hope you get surrounded by people who affirm you and you get to know more and more who your roots are. That mental illnesses aren't a thing, and the only acceptable emotions to express are anger and happiness. Whoa, woo! Got the wisdom in here. The idea that hurts me, that is not part of my culture but burdens me, is talking bad about people. Right? It just doesn't help. The chismosa, the talking trash. It's like, usually people, let's keep it real. People who do that, usually they're talking about themselves. They focus on other people and talk trash about other people because really they're not feeling themselves. That mental health isn't really taken into consideration, that you have to just get over it and move on. That's why I will always thank my parents, always understanding, supporting me. Big up, parents. I honestly can't think of anything. That's okay. That a woman has to act like one, or act like ladylike. Whoa. Boom. Everybody, 3 breaths. For me, that kind of tightened my shoulders, I noticed. If you need to, you can stretch, stand. I don't care if you need to move. I'm pretty sure I got ADHD, so just do what you got to do. Shake your body a little, because that's a lot of feelings. Take another breath. Big feeling. Whoa, shake, shake, shake. If you need to, you have a pillow, you go, get it out, get it out. Woo, woo, woo. One more big breath. I want to thank you. And honestly, I want to thank whoever raised y'all, because y'all are brilliant. I see one more. The lesson that benefits me is that remembering that my parents didn't get to process their trauma. So at times they don't know how to help me process mine. Dang, mic drop. I'm done with this workshop. We were done. That was excellent. Everybody, good job. No, I'm just kidding. Beautiful. Beautiful, y'all. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I know that was a lot. It's beautiful. Look, I just need you to notice how brilliant you are. This is called popular education, educación popular. You don't need a professor or somebody who's read a lot of books to game you up. If you circle up people and give everyone a chance to speak, or let everyone speak twice before you, or speak once before you speak twice, and create that environment, you're gonna get gamed up. You're gonna learn plenty. So thank you all for your wisdom. I really, really, really appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna keep it pushing, okay? Thank you for that. What I'm gonna do next is share out some images. And I'm gonna have you drop in the chat or just say out loud. Actually, I'm gonna ask you to say out loud if you can. What do you think we're fighting for in each action? All right. What do you think we're fighting for in each action? And Anna, if you're still there, if you don't mind hitting me with like a time check. I got a little caught up with these beautiful check-ins. So here's the question. What are we fighting in each action? So I'm just gonna pop through these images. Some of them, it's like 3 photos per action. These are from throughout the United States. I didn't put some from like other parts of the world, but check these out and tell me what you think we're fighting for. Here we go. Well, this is my poster. Let me just tell you real quick. I got this poster in 2000, and it's the first time I really learned about eviction. And I learned that there's these old Filipino men who were living in this hotel in San Francisco called the I Hotel. And I learned that there was a developer who wanted to build really big buildings in San Francisco and kicked out all these elders. They were old men because they came over from the Philippines to work in the farms, to work on the train, to work in the kitchens, to clean dishes. And they weren't allowed to have families really because they couldn't intermingle with white women or any other women. And they lived in this hotel, and this developer bought the hotel out and kicked out all these elders. And guess what? They didn't even build anything. The building sat empty for 25 years. And a lot of these elders died. A lot of these elders were homeless. And that changed my life to find that out in 2000. And it helped me realize that I was dealing with that stuff 4 minutes ago. Oh my goodness, how did that happen? Okay, so let me just show you real quick. This is what inspired me to go to college, was seeing that people are crossing the border. They're living like this in detention centers with no safety. Thank you, 15, appreciate it. And so this is what I did about it. This is at La Frontera, the border, San Isidro. Me and my homies did teatro, and we talked about what was happening in people in detention centers. This is us at the border, blocking the border. And 5 of my homies who sin papeles, sin miedo, blocked the doorway, got arrested, but we made a big noise. A lot of us are queer when we're here. We're family members, we're workers, we're artists, teatristas, and we use theater to make a noise. So that was obvious. We're fighting for the unity of our family and fighting immigration. In law school, I got to go to the border and I saw how gross these fences are, these gates are, these things that try to control land. You can't control earth. You can't control the ocean. You can't control a butterfly from migrating. But these humans, they're twisted. They think that you can control things. And so because I saw this, we did this in LA. Those of you who stay in LA, this is like right in the Rampart area, like 6th, kind of like near MacArthur Park. And the youth right here, we did a whole piece around La Bestia. Does anybody here know what La Bestia is? And my youth wrote poemas, and we did it in this huge mural. Anybody here, La Bestia? Give a couple more seconds. You can throw it in the chat or you can say it out loud. Feel free. Anybody?
It's the train that people hop on top of, and usually it's kind of dangerous.
Yes. And why would they get on the train? Why would anyone choose to get on a dangerous train?
Because it's the way that they could get to the other side, and it's the most easiest.
Boom.
And
So
they're
these-
desperate.
Yes, to get to the other side. So La Bestia is in Mexico, and folks might come up from El Salvador, from Colombia, from Guatemala, and jump on this train. People have lost their limbs. They're so desperate to find some safety, right? They're so desperate to get reunited with their family, to just get work. But instead, the message here in the United States, especially amidst our last president, is blaming people, when the only reason they're leaving their country is because the United States created contracts in their homeland and really destroyed the opportunity for folks to stay home. So our youth in LA painted this, and they wrote poems, Look at, one day a bee went to school. He stung another bee because he was mad. Then the police of bees got the mad bee and took him to jail. So these little poems, my youth, they're elementary school from kindergarten to 8th grade. They use poems and animals to think about what's happening in real life. keep it pushing. I'm gonna keep going, okay? We did teatro, so we did this event to show off our mural and to get the families to come out. We created this program, Aprendamos, and if you can see on the left side, our topics were environmental justice, identity and health, higher education, like that. It was a free summer program. And while I worked with the youth, the parents, the families met once a week, and they said they wanted English classes. But instead of regular English, just basic English, we did nonviolent communication. So the parents were learning English, practicing how to talk about hard things with their children. It's really cool. Okay, this one right here. What do you think we're fighting for in this one? Let me get somebody.
For drought.
Eh?
For drought.
Fighting droughts. And what do these children care about? This was an abandoned lot right there in historic Filipino town. We put up those wood boards, painted the mural, and then as you can see the babies down there, we planted plants. It's a very kind of busted, crusty looking area. We made it hella pretty. So not only are we fighting the drought, but what do you think we're fighting for here, y'all?
The land.
For the land. Uh-huh. And what's the message here? Someone can translate. What is agua es vida? Cuidala. What does that mean?
Water is life.
Water is life. Take care of it.
Take care of it. Boom. So you see my youth, you see how they went from like they showed like it was like a overtime, like look at the land, making it better. You know, now a lot of these youth, they've never painted before, but we took over the land, we potted our own plants, and we had a whole event within the community. This is another mural we did. What's happening here? Anybody? This is the school a little closer to Boyle Heights, Lincoln Heights. What's this mural about? What are we fighting for? What you think?
Climate.
Climate. ¿Y qué más? Look at the ocean. What are we trying to make sure doesn't happen in the ocean? Fighting what? Starts with a P, ends with pollution.
Pollution.
Yes, fighting
Ocean pollution.
See this? No la contaminación, right? All right, real quick, I went to law school and I helped run this thing called a legal observer training. Y'all see that little map right there, that circle? All right, I'm gonna come back to that. There's a reason there's a circle there. These are my law school peers. I was a third year in law school and these are first and second years. What do you think that means, legal observer? I don't know if any of you seen that bright green hat. Any idea what that could mean? Legal observer. Any guesses? Anybody been to a protest? Okay, legal observers are people who wear these bright green hats and they legally take notes. So in case a police officer hurts somebody or something bad goes down, we can present ourselves at court to defend people who were protesting. So what I would do in law school to help me not lose my mind and to stay grounded is train other law students so we can protect our communities when we're protesting. And that circle you see is the corner right there near the detention center downtown LA. And we were gonna take over the street. And so we were showing how we're gonna take over the street and where to stand and how to protect the community from getting ran over. This one right here, can anyone read that sign back there? This is at a worker center. This one's in downtown LA, like Santi Alley, for those of you who are familiar. Can anyone read what's in that cloud bubble? Conozcan what? Let me hear it.
Conozcan sus derechos. So
what that mean?
Know your rights.
So we would go out in the community in español y también en inglés. I grew up speaking English, but my family in the Philippines was also invaded by Spain. So I feel a lot of camaraderie with folks who were forced to speak Spanish, like Mexicanos, you know, folks from Colombia, El Salvador. I feel a lot of camaraderie, de Cuba, you know, de Puerto Rico. I know I'm from a different land. I'm technically Asian, right? But I know I'm indigenous. And I also know Spanish is just a way for us to connect. So when I was in law school, we'd go around and we'd say things like no abrir la puerta, no responder, identificar la agencia, right? We would teach the jornaleros, the day laborers, yo, if they come, this is what you do. And we would do teatro. We would practice. ¿Me estás detenido? ¿Me puedo ir? Am I being detained? Am I free to go? And we would practice using theater, right? This is how we use culture. We have deep conversations, we play, but we're protecting our families, yo. You know, ya basta. We're tired of being separated. We're tired of being scared. And so this is what I did. I don't have heck of time, but I wanted to, can I bust a quick poem for you? Is that okay? You all right with that? So look, the only reason I wrote this poem, the only reason I'm sharing it is because of these workshops. We were doing these workshops with day laborers, and I learned that there was information we needed to share to protect our tíos and our tías. I'm gonna walk through it for those of you who needs translation. Ninguna pregunta, estamos aquí en la lucha. Me amo Eden, como el jardín, con raíces y fruta. Gusto en verte, en la calle, en mi mente, gritando suerte. Si se puede, te quiero, nos vemos, vente. Esta información es para la gente en la calle, la razón. The people that prisons pass on, a la migra, mi familia, se están escondiendo, hiding and hiding, tago en cualquier lengua. Nuestros derechos defendiendo. Unificar, right there with you, Nilfa. Si aman tu nombre, griten alto. Puedes contestar, tengo derechos. Habla fuerte, di tu un testiguex, solo di tu primer nombre, amiguex. No mientes o resistas físicamente, son pruebas de crimen desafortunadamente. Porque la policía y la migra son la misma sistema de porquería. Aunque tengamos miedo, tenemos sabiduría. Estamos transformando este sistema. Respira con tus pies en la tierra. Estamos practicando, estamos listas. Defiende tu vida, defiende tu vida. Estoy detenida. Estoy libre de irme. No quiero contestar ninguna pregunta. Estoy detenido. Estoy libre de irme. No quiero contestar ninguna pregunta. Ninguna pregunta. Ninguna pregunta. I'm being detained. I'm free to go. I don't want to answer no question. I don't want to answer no question. Boom. So that's a little rap and poem I wrote, and we would take this poster around, and we would be on the street and do talleres, like know your rights, and we would practice. I'd say, estoy detenido, and they'd go, estoy detenido, and we would practice back and forth. Because when there's a police officer with a gun on their hip, it's hard to remember how to protect yourself when you see a gun right there next to you and you don't have no gun. So we'd practice and practice so that at any time they dealt with it, getting pulled over in the car or getting their house busted in, they can be ready to defend their lives, no? And we queered our movement, liberation, not deportation, and we blocked the streets. And we blocked detention centers so they couldn't send another bus off to the border and send away our family. That's me being silly with a megaphone. This is me in law school. Quick guess, 33 out of 1,100. What do you think me and my classmates were talking about? Quick guess, it might be hard. 5 seconds. This is UCLA School of Law. I think this is maybe 2014 or 15. Any guesses?
Maybe that many students were graduated from law school?
Close. So it's not about graduation. 33 people out of 1,100. Who do you think those 33 people were?
The 33 people were immigrants that were able to stay in the United States, but the others were sent off back to the border.
Nope, close though, but you're on the same vibe. You're very, very much the same. I'm going to tell you, there were only 33 Black students at UCLA School of Law at the time. 33 people of African descent out of 1,100. Now check this out. UCLA sports, hella Black. Those athletes have to sign a contract that says that they will not protest or they won't be able to play their sport or keep their scholarship. Think about that. 33 Black students out of 1,100. Makes no sense. It's ridiculous. So we all made a movement about that UCLA law. And look, there's very few Black people even in this photo, no? Quick last things. GEO is the second largest prison company, in, at least when we did this in 2015. And we played off of the word GEO. They're a prison company. And we put genocide to talk about how they're destroying our families. We just spray painted it on some cardboard. And we did a protest in Miami. And this was another map. We drew our map to block the streets. And I taught theater to youth. And we did a map on, we did like little theater pieces on how to talk about the school, the prison system, and the businesses like GEO and what they're doing to our families, making money off of us. This is the vigil we did in historic Filipino town, all of the children and families who were murdered. And then we did a rolling theater piece for those who were in LA. We walked along the street and did teatro at all those different murals we saw. So every mural I just showed you pictures of, we would stop at the mural and do teatro. And we had these big things. We made our own loteria cards, life size, but like a liberated version. So instead of La Dama, we had Tierra, for example. No, instead of El Mundo, we had Tierra. Instead of La Dama, we had Curandera. Cool, huh? We made these by hand, like using a paper mache. And we would use them to protest at detention centers. These are all my lawyer homies. And we blocked the detention center, huh? And we did teatro in the middle of the street. Fun, huh? And you see those bright green hats? Those are legal observers to protect us because we're blocking the street. This is downtown LA, yo. It's not a game. It's really busy there. You know, you can get run over. But we defend ourselves. We protect ourselves because we believe in us. And this is in Oakland, the Jazz Festival. I'm gonna smash real quick. This is in Hawaii. We were invited out to help people to organize because of Mauna Kea, because of the native land being invaded there, huh? Quick free write, throw it in the chat. I know pretty much I'm out of time. I want you to just do a quick free write. These are your 3 sentences. Start off the sentence, I believe. The second sentence, you are, and then we something. Last thing to do. So I believe and ground yourself. So say something. I believe in the power of the people. I believe in the power of love. I believe that I can do anything I put my mind to. And then you are making an encouraging statement. You are who I need. You are valuable to me. You are going to change all of our lives. And then the third sentence, we finish the sentence. We stand united and will never be divided. We will help heal the trauma in our family. We can build a new world from this broken one. 1 minute, go ahead and throw it in there. And then we have a 5-minute break after this. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. I believe, you are, and then we. Try not to think too hard. You have the rest of your life to write poems. You have the rest of your life to do teatro. It's going to be brilliant. I know it. I believe everyone can do a change. Keep going. You can even do 1 of those sentences if you don't want to do 3. I believe in the voice of the people. You are an inspiration for those who are lost. We shall endure. Ugh, come with it. I believe that we can make a change. Oh, wait, my mouse got funny. ¿Qué tal, homie? Wow, beautiful. I believe that we can make a change. You are capable. We are powerful. I believe if we work together, we can accomplish anything. I believe we can be inclusive. I believe anyone can be involved regardless of race or religion. I believe one life can change many. You are perfect just the way you are. I believe I can do anything I put my mind to. You are strong. We are the change. I believe that all relationships will be healed. You are worth it. We will break through. I believe the world will change if we all try to take part in that change. Beautiful. I believe we are stronger together. You are strong and you can do it. We can do anything if we put our mind to it. Put your back into it. What? That would rhyme. I believe we can make an impact on the world if we put our minds to it. We are the future, so let's make something about it. I believe I can do what I need to reach my goals. I believe you are peace. We can love together. We can make a better world. We are incredibly strong. I believe that we all have a voice. You are capable of doing anything you set your mind to. We can do it. You are crucial in making a better world. So I know it's about to close out, 26 seconds. Hey, whether or not we see each other again this lifetime or another one, I just need to thank you. I feel so blessed to be here with you today. And know that we're out here fighting for you, you know? We're out here, we believe in you. And where are we at? There we are. And you're not alone, you know? So see you later on in this. Thank you. I'm just so proud of y'all. Thank you, you know?
The kids are all on break right now. They're going to come back at 10:25, and then they're going to do exercise on something, and then you, and then I'll introduce you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Nice shirt. Is that your new shirt this year? Oldie but goodie. I like those baseball tees.
Right. Those were some amazing workshops. And I know that I got so much out of the one I was in with Tere and Poder. We have a quick break and then we'll be back in a couple minutes to hear from Miss Sierra. So
Thank you, Melinda. I'm gonna log off, but always appreciative of this space and all the leadership you all take. And it's so good to have students on this on a Saturday morning. So thank you. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you.
Everybody for coming back, and thank you for our presenters. And we're going to move on now. My name is Steve Gonzalez. I work with the counselors in Puente. And our next presentation has to do with funding what your vision is. What is your vision of Puente? And that's going to be our next presentation. And so in the chat, there should be a Mentimeter. Students, we want to hear from your voices. Now we've heard a lot from everybody. The two choices are, the two questions has to do is, what is your vision or your goal for the club? We were at a school a couple weeks ago in Pasadena, and we were talking and talking and talking. And then we finally asked the student, like, what is their vision? And she came up with just one great thing that was her vision. So we want to know what your vision is, and if you could keep it simple and not too overreaching, and that would be great. So what is your vision, your goal for the club? Secondly, what is your legacy project, which is related a lot to your vision, especially for the seniors out there. I know there's some. What is your legacy? What did you leave with Puente? Or even for the freshmen and the lower grade students, what do you see as your vision of your legacy? What will you leave Puente with? So your vision, goal, and your legacy, which might be the same thing. So if you could put that in the Mentimeter. So we'll wait a minute or two with that and get back on track here. We'll wait one more minute. Hopefully people are putting it in. So what's your vision and goal for your club, or what is your legacy? What do you see yourself doing? So there's one so far. Involvement. Everybody graduating, that's a good one. Inclusivity. Injustice. That's a big one. Place. Getting others involved. Involvement. Acknowledgement of the program. Creating community. Excellent, students. I know you're all going to put some great things in there, so please keep on putting them. We appreciate those and appreciate what your vision and goal is, because this is what's all about. You know, when we get finished today in your leadership, you're going to bring back your vision and your goal and your leadership to your campus, and hopefully put some of these things, then you could see the others and put them into place. So now we're going to go next to our funding, what funding your vision is, and talk to one of our advisors, one of our great advisors from La Serna High School. We're going to go to Miss Norma Sierra, a counselor, and she's going to give her fundraising tips and ideas from what La Serna does. Thank you, Miss Sierra.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Hello, students. I'm glad to be joining you this morning. I see some of my students also here, so good morning to everyone. And so today I was invited to come and share my fundraising ideas that I've had at La Serna. And so hopefully these ideas will help you. So the most important thing is you want to make money for your club, right? So is having a goal. What is it before you start even fundraising? What are your goals? What do you need money for? Is it for us, it's mainly our buses, our field trips, sponsoring our socials, our events, maybe. So all these activities that we could do with Puente sometimes cost more money than what our funds that we have available to do those additional things. So that's the first thing you want to do is, what are your goals for the club? What are the events you want to plan? And then how much money do you need? And when do you need it by, your time frame? So it's important to know first what your goal is, how much money you need to raise, what you want to do with those funds, and by when do you need those funds? Next, you want to ask yourself, what resources do you have? Who is committed to helping you? Your Puente Club, the leaders at your school within the Puentistas that are going to help commit. So those are your resources. What people are available to assist in the fundraising, who's going to lead? It could be different people leading the fundraiser. And then most importantly, what are your school policies? I know that for Whittier Union School District, money has to be handled very carefully, has to be accounted for. So at Serna, we do have a treasurer in part of our leadership in our cabinet. And she is responsible for picking up the cash box, for making sure it gets returned back, because I don't want different people handling money if you're selling something on campus. That is important, and that everything is documented, how much money was in the cash box, how much, and then we actually have paperwork that we submit to our school cashier as to like what were the items we sold, how much they cost, and how much we're submitting. And then so I have a report that I could print out to see how much money we have and where our money is going to. So that's very important, that to look into your school policies. What does that look like for your district, for your school, as far as handling money? And you, another piece too is, before we start a fundraiser, we have our student government that approves our fundraisers on our campus, even if they're going to be fundraisers off campus or on campus. We have to inform our student government as to what we're doing and get approval. And the reason for that is we don't want different clubs, like we're all going to have a fundraiser on the same night. So the school wants to make sure they organize and it's fair for all clubs. So it's very important to be very familiar with your school policies, just to make sure that you are following the rules that are in place for you. All right, so I know that, you know, when you come together as students and you're start to plan and brainstorm, we come up with great ideas, right? We're thinking like these grand ideas, we could do this and that. And so when it comes to fundraising, I like to keep it simple and easy to implement. And also, I have to tell you, I'm a mother of two, and they were in clubs and sports, and I'm going to be honest, as a parent, I hated selling like candy bars, right? I would probably be the parent that would write that check for the $50 box, and then I'd be, oh, who wants chocolate? Because it was just hard to sell, or like catalog items. Those are hard. I mean, it's not for everyone. So I'm going to show you some ideas that are a little bit more simpler, which will generate more income for you, for the club, so that it's not a lot of energy spent in trying to raise money. So here are some different ideas. First is selling items on campus. Again, going back to your policies, find out, when are you allowed to sell items on campus? I know for us, we used to be able to sell during lunch, and all these clubs sold, and then they took that away from us. And now slowly they're letting us sell items, like if we have before school, and after school. So for us, we are currently are selling iced coffee on campus. We had our first sale on Wednesday, And I know, and I don't want to put one of my students, but Angela is part of that. She's on here. And we had a tremendous success. So we actually asked for donations. We sent to all our Puente families. So we have 240 Puentistas at Serna High School. That's 9th through 12th graders. So we have a lot of resources there. So we asked our families to donate Starbucks bottles, the ones that come in glass bottles. I think they're like 9 ounces, 10-ounce bottles. So we had those. So we're not spending any money for that. We did purchase cups and straws, and we got ice on campus. And so we sold before school, and we're going to be doing this every Wednesday, and we made $270, and most of that was profit because we had donations. So now we're going to send an email back to our family and say, thank you for your donations. We made this much money. I have some pictures I could send them. And I'm going to say, continue, you know, if you can, and you're at Smart and Final or Costco and you see some of these bottles, you know, please donate. So that is one way, one example. For us, it's pure profit. We sell them $2 each. And so that's how we were able to make $270 in one morning. Another thing too is look on your campus. We were selling iced coffee years back, and we always made great money because especially students love their Starbucks coming, walking. The students set up right outside the gate. Well, the students, we only have 2 entry points at our school. And so it was a perfect location. We saw the students actually saw a need on our campus. Hey, they're going and buying their coffee at McDonald's, at Starbucks, Coffee Bean. Why don't we provide this need for them? And so we saw a need on our campus, and they were able to do the sale, and it was successful. So what is your need on your campus? Do you see a need? Maybe donuts in the morning. It's an easy way. Can you set up before school starts? Can you maybe after school, is there some kind of clubs or activities after school that maybe, I know schools provide like a dinner, I know ours do, but sometimes they want like an extra snack or a little not as healthy, you know, meal. So look at what is the need at your school, and can the club provide that need? You know, waters, or like individual wrap snacks. Another thing you want to do, which I want to give credit to our Puentistas at Serna, is we have committees. So you want to do this so that not everything falls on the same students all the time. So you could sign up for who's going to sign up for different dates, who's going to set up, who's going to sell, and who's going to clean up. So if you divide the responsibilities, it's not as big of a task. So if you have a smaller leadership club on your campus, maybe you want to grow it a little bit more. And the way to do that is, hey, we have a need, here is the need. And then students tend to volunteer more. If you say, hey, I need someone we're going to be selling, why don't you come help with leadership? These are the days, these are the times. And so you get, that's a great way to get students involved too, by having a need there. So that's one example of fundraising, by selling items on campus. Another way, and we've done this in the past and it was successful, is we did an old-fashioned donation letter. So here's an example. It was on letterhead. We physically mailed these U.S. Post Office. We didn't pay for the stamps, our school did. So it didn't come out of Puente funding. So again, it's something you need to ask. If it's something that your school is willing to support, paying for the postage. And this letter also is for families to solicit, to help businesses. So we do have Edison that gives us about $1,200 a school year out of that organization, because there's an employee for Edison, Southern California Edison. And so they have a program that donates to programs and clubs. So that's one example. So sometimes parents don't know that that's available to them. So that's a big part of our fundraising for us. And it's through these letters, sending out to your friends and family and letting them know, like, what is Puente? How does it service? Where are your donations going to? So that's what this letter does. It's telling them what our budget is. And It's been updated. It's 4,600 at that time. I believe we get more money now. We get about $6,000. So I didn't update that part. But like, what are your costs for, what are your, again, going back to the first slides, what is your goal for the Puente program? What do you want to spend it on? Let the community know. Let your family and friends know. Have them reach out to their companies if they work for, especially bigger companies like Southern California Edison, the gas company, some private companies. They'll donate to programs because it's a tax write-off. And so what you want to do is, though, you never send your tax ID until you receive funds, and then we would do thank you cards. So whoever donated, I would send back the company, or if it was a family or individual, a letter thanking them, and then you put your tax deductible ID on there because it's a tax deduction for a company. That's why they donate. So this is one way. And so we decided not to do this year because we are wanting to do something a little differently. So second semester, we're going to do digital donations. It's kind of similar in the fact that you're asking for donations, but now it's going to be a text or an email. So these are 3 organizations that I found. The most common one is GoFundMe, but they do have charity fundraising for clubs and organizations. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. But some of the other ones, and hopefully this presentation will be available for you students because I put all these links in here for you to be able, oh, Mr. Gonzalez is nodding yes, so that you could go in and click on these and have these available to you. So for example, like give forms, you just click on there and it shows like start fundraising. So it's a digital platform. So it's basically like the letter, but you're sending it, you're emailing it to your families and friends and companies, asking, again, you want to let them know why you're asking for money. You want to let them know about the Puente program, what it is. So this is very similar to what we did, but now we're going digital. There's also this one, Fundly, which is for schools and education, start a fundraiser. See, this is for individuals and charities, and for schools and education, and it gives you an example of what school fundraisers, what they've done. So this is another way to ask for donations. And then lastly, everyone's familiar, I would assume, with GoFundMe. We see this one more often. So it's not just for, it could be for individuals or it could be for clubs and schools as well. So that's another idea. So you could either do the old-fashioned letter, which I kind of like when sending to companies. I feel like I get a better response when you send them in writing, or you could go digitally and send it to families and friends, or you could run a campaign both at the same time and give them the options. Another way to fundraise would be local restaurants. Again, we want to fundraise with ones that are going to have a big impact and raise the most money for you and be less work. So we just did a fundraiser with Chipotle. They give you 33% back of sales. So that is the ones you want to look at. You want to look at the different local restaurants and what percent do they give you back. So Chipotle is one of them. You need to sign up. The link is here. They give you 33%. And basically you're just advertising, don't cook tonight, have dinner at Chipotle. You send it school-wide. You have to get, find out what your policy is at school. For us, we have to get it approved again through our student government. So we could post flyers, send emails, and share with our families, Puente families as well. So here's another way. One of my favorites is not active right now because of COVID, but I still want to share with you because look at this. 50% back. So Applebee's is opens up like at 11 o'clock, but what they do is you can have breakfast with them, and it's called a flapjack fundraiser. And look, 50%. I love this one. So right now it's on hold because of COVID, but I want to bring this to your attention because it is a great way to raise a lot of money. I think we've raised like $400 or $500 all in one morning. And so what it involves is the tickets sell for $5, but they can recommend you sell them for $10. So you share that 50%. So what I do is they provide you the tickets. I give them to all the Puentistas and I say, okay, everyone sell at least 4 tickets. And then if you're unable to sell 4 tickets, return them back, to your advisor, right? And so you're actually collecting cash. So this is the one that makes me a little nervous, but we've never had an issue. Every student is going to get 4 tickets. So that's $40 or the tickets back. So, and it goes through their English teachers. So I give all the teachers, the 4 tickets for every student, and then they're going to give the tickets back or the $40 back. And I love it because it becomes a social too, because you're there, the Puente leadership is there. You serve food. It's eggs, sausage, bacon, and pancakes, and orange juice or coffee for $10. So it's a great way. And the restaurant just opened to the Puentistas, and you invite your friends and family, other students. And I stay the whole time because I greet families. Our Puente president has walked table to table and greeted families. And then we have students not only just serving, it's like buffet style, like they're serving, but then we have other students cleaning up tables, like picking up plates and cleaning down the table. So you get community service and you get a social, 2 hours with the Puente families and community. So it's a great way so I'm hoping it's going to open up soon. Things are changing. So just want to make sure that you keep this in mind because it's an easy way to raise money. And the other one that we've done is Panera. Panera gives you back 20% back. Usually it's 4 to 8 are the evening hours. And for some reason it's not popping up. Oh, there it goes. It was just a little slow. And so, yep, here it is from 4 to 8. And it already has a generic flyer. The way you request this is you send an email through the link. There is an email for you to sign up for fundraising. It's down here. And so you could do drive-through, you could do rapid pickup, curbside. They just need to indicate that it's for a fundraiser. So again, these are easy ways to request money to fundraise, and not really a lot of as opposed to a bake sale. You have to bake your goods and they go bad if you don't sell them all. That's why we like iced coffee. Iced coffee has a long shelf life. So we could keep them for a couple of months and they're not going to go bad. Okay, so another idea is selling items online. Now, I know I started my conversation with saying I don't really like to sell stuff. However, you don't need to give catalogs to people, collect money. Simple online way to fundraise is online. So we did one of these custom ink. So you could do Puente t-shirts. I believe these shirts were done through custom ink. So we do most of our Puente shirts through here. We did masks as last year as a fundraiser. And so you select your item. You could do shirts, you could do masks. I mean, they have all these different clothing items. You create your design online. You can upload your logo, the Puente logo, and you create your shirts. And then you put a timeline and you set the price. So let's say the shirt's going to be $8. You're going to sell them for $15. And then they send you a check for the difference, the number. So of course, the more you sell, the more money you're going to make. We didn't make a lot of money on this one, but definitely it's an easy way to, if you want to sell shirts and fundraise, it's an easy way to make, some money. The one where we make a lot of money is mixed bags. So it depends on your audience because it is an expensive item, but we've made $400 to $500 on this. We do it once a year. So what it is, I put you the link to sign up. They sell fancy bags and kitchen items. We usually do it around this time of year because people want to buy Christmas gifts. So this gives you an idea of what they sell. So candles and a lot of these totes, wrapping paper. But here's the nice thing. You send the link out, you say, we're fundraising. And what I love about this, look, 50% of sales. So yes, a bag may cost like 40 bucks, but 20% is going back to you. So you can maybe advertise that and say, you know, if you're looking, shopping for Christmas gifts, consider maybe mixed bags. 50% of sales are going back to our club. So it's okay to tell your audience of who you're soliciting and marketing to for this fundraiser. Let them know what it's for. 50% of sales come back to our Puente Club. This is why we're doing this. And they ship the items. They could select to ship the items directly to their home for an additional cost. Of course, you don't get that profit, or it comes all. So this is where it's a little bit of work, because then, or else it all ships to your school, and then you have to, you know, find who purchased it and make sure they get their item. So that could be a little bit if a lot of people decide to not want to pay the shipping costs to send it to their home. And so here are some ideas of things that we've done. Oh, we got to wrap it up. Okay, so just to finish up, I just want to show you, here's the Applebee's flapjack that we had. So you see they were serving. This is the iced coffee. They're right in front of the school, and we sold this. This is from this Wednesday. And this was, we had like a back to school night, or I don't remember, like for one of those events where parents come on campus, and we were selling churros. So just some ideas. Hopefully you have my email there. Feel free to email me if you have any more questions as far as like, or ideas that you want to run by me. But thank you guys.
Thank you, Miss Sierra. So sorry, I had to, we just ran a little bit over. So thank you so much for, I love that simplicity, getting a treasurer, knowing those policies. So everybody's giving you a lot of love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you, Miss Sierra. So from the Serna High School, counselor, advisor, and just all around great person. So students, we're gonna get into the next topic of number one. We want to announce the extension of the Action Now grant. Now, this is something that is new this year that will be available to you. We said it in, we extended it in the fall. We're going to extend it one more time till December 10th. The application is going to be in the chat. We're going to have 3 students from your leadership here. One, Vanessa Pintonas from Pasadena. I talked to her about her before. Zulette Orduña from Anaheim High School. Mariana Moreno from Eleanor Roosevelt. And Lisa Caballas from La Serna to highlight their projects. So we'll just go order, whoever wants to go first. I say Zulette. Zulette, you go first.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, everybody. My name is Zulette Orduna. I am a 12th grader, senior from Anaheim High School. So for my action grant project, the title of it was called the Legacy Project. I wanted to leave a legacy in my school. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Oops, I apologize. Computer is on. But I wanted to leave a legacy in my school. I wanted to make an impact. So with my action plan, we decided to create care packages with essential items, canned foods, toiletry items, and distribute them out to 3 different organizations / nonprofits. It would help our community in just connecting with them and being able to provide and branch off and help different types of people. So the shelters we chose were the Alley House, which mainly focused on abused women and children. I have in the past helped with them making school bags for the children of the homes. I also chose the Laura House, which mainly focused on aiding those who suffered from domestic violence. And then I also chose the Homeless Intervention Services of OC, who support people and overcome homelessness and achieve independence. All 3 organizations were willing to accept our donations. I've already been in contact with them and the process is going smoothly. We're still waiting for the response back though. 100. So we don't know how much of the funds we'd receive yet, but we had like a rough outline of how much we would distribute it. We chose 100 for essential items, 100 for canned food items, 100 for toiletry items, $50 for packaging the item, and then $50 for transportation, and another 100 to go out for student participation, or even just putting it back into like the essentials that we need. We'd also involve our community in the action plan, and well, in the project. We'd spread flyers around the community. I would spread it at school as well through our school announcements. Overhead, we'd make more posters. We'd reach out to local restaurants and have them promote it. Just promoting it is really what I'm looking forward to. And having our public relations committee in our school just branch out to different people. It would take, we decided to start the project around January, especially in the days of Serbathon week. We wanted to mainly do that. We want to have it we were planning it already. We want to preparate by the month of December and be ready by January. And we would just be collecting donations and different items from the students and our community throughout that time. It's not just the money going towards the donations. We want to actively involve our students. And by doing that, we wanted to have them participate for a specific number of items they brought. They would receive community service minutes, because we didn't want to do full hours because we thought that was a little too easy or simple. We really want to have donations pile up. We want to give back to our community. How we got to this point, we were conferencing with other clubs. At our school, we started a new club, Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a social justice club that promotes activism around the community. They're tied with with the city of Anaheim. The president, Alicia Sasueta, she's tied back in with them because she did participate in a few events with them. We were informed of the high rates of homelessness, and with the recent recall of Gavin Newsom, we learned in our government class that homeless rates have gone up, especially because of the pandemic. And then we just really wanted to focus on actively involving our community and our students. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Thank you, Zulette. Thank you so much. So we'll next go with, oh, Vanessa couldn't come, so I'm here instead. Sharon from Pasadena, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, thank you. Oh, great. Okay, so Sharon from Pasadena High School, go ahead. Thank you for sharing.
So what we are planning to do with our money is get t-shirts for every single Puentista student in our school. We are also planning soon to have a senior panel to talk to the underclassmen, like the sophomore and freshmen, about their academics and who are struggling academically and emotionally. We also want these students to be more involved with Puente in our school, because we've been seeing that they're not as involved as in other years. We also want to become a bigger presence in our high school. Lastly, we want to plan field trips that allows our students of all 4 grades to go to see their culture and have them involved in the community, and let them go see colleges that they might want to apply to. That's it.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for standing up for Vanessa. Good job. Remember, students, the action now grant is there, extended to December 10th. So good work that you could work on during Thanksgiving break to bring back to your advisor. We'll go next with Lisa from Serna High School. Lisa, go ahead.
I'm Lisa. I'm a senior at Serna, and what we decide to do with our money is to actually buy books. I strongly believe that books can give a lot of exposure to different people, and just stories of how people grew up and all these cultural like diversity. So the captain and I, we believe that getting different books that will show different perspectives of like what each author went through, or like just stories of of different people's heritage, and I think that would definitely help people with just understanding more of how their words were what they do can impact others, like with racial and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're gonna do with the money to buy books, and yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Last but not least, Mariana Montero from Roosevelt, right? Eleanor Roosevelt. So Mariana Moreno, what is your project?
I'm from the Puente Club in Eleanor Roosevelt High School, and our plan is to kind of go based off our community and based on what our school was saying. A lot of LGBTQ members were not really comfortable with it at school, so we decided going like through that route and making an exhibit of like the LGBTQ community to like express how they feel or more about the LGBTQ community so that people can learn about it or know more. And that way, like they can feel a little bit more comfortable at school. And the way we're trying to do this is that they can do an art project, like a painting, a poem, or photography. And we would promote this around January so that people have time to do like their projects and then like go like do the exhibit on February. And the way we would promote it is have flyers, a s'mores, explaining what the event is, and that's our project for our high school.
Thank you so much, Mariana. Thank you, everybody. And remember, the grant is in the chat that you could work on over Thanksgiving break. It'd be a great thing to do during break and bringing it back into your advisor. So I'm gonna turn it over to now my colleague, who I'm thankful for, Giselle Robertson. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. So I just want to thank first off our amazing students, Zulette, Sharon, and Lisa, and Mariana. Thank you so much for sharing your Action Now grant and all of the wonderful work that you're doing at your school. So now we get to go back into our regional groups like we did last time from some collaboration. Once you're in your group, please introduce yourself. We had to kind of move some students around and kind of collapse one of the groups. So there will be new students in all of the groups. And so now we have 4 instead of 5. So please, when you get into your group, make sure you introduce yourself. You're going to share one highlight from this year so far. And then we're going to go over the Jamboard. So don't worry, we'll be sharing screen and all this information will be for you when you get into your breakout group. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So lovely Anna just put the Jamboard in the chat if you want to open that before you go into your breakout room. And then we will be back here and I'll be sending you little messages so you have the time check. We will be back here in about 32 minutes. So if you see the button, go ahead and jump into your breakout room and then we'll see you back here in about half an hour. And so I'm just going to start. Hopefully everybody got to introduce themselves and pick a recorder and a reporter. So now reporters, it's your time to shine. I'm going to call on your group name and then you just let me know who the reporter is. I'm going to share screen so we can look at it all together. Let's start with the paisanos first. That was Ms. Controla's group. Who was the reporter for that group? Let me get.
That's Angelina. Yeah, and we were having a little bit of problem with accessing the board, but she took notes for us, so she's going to be sharing out.
Okay. So on the board, there's no notes then?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, Angel.
So we were talking about like mainly a way to get everybody involved again, because of the pandemic. You know, everybody's feeling a bit like separated. So we were either talking about doing like a district-wide event with like all the Puente clubs from, you know, each high school, whether that was like either having like a big potluck to socialize. We talked about maybe going to one of the high schools that has a really big theater and having a keynote speaker. And then we talked about even doing like that on a smaller scale, just because a lot of our classes, like we haven't been able to participate in Puente for 2 years. You know, my freshman year was cut off, and before we were able to go on any field trips. So doing, you know, smaller events, like a little social for the juniors one day, and then the next day is for freshmen, and then you know, including everybody, just so we can meet each other again and talk, you know, socialize, because we haven't been able to do that for the past, you know, 2 years.
Yes.
So that's what we talked about. And then
how would you guys talk about funding that? Like, what was that's your vision. So then how would you guys talk about funding it?
For fundraisers, at my school right now, we're doing we're going to start selling iced coffees on Wednesdays, which is a really easy way because a lot of the iced coffees we get donated. So that's what we talked about. And then also doing like the Chipotle fundraisers. And at my school, we're going to have one of those online fundraisers for like sending out emails, and then, you know, people donate that way. So yeah.
And I said this to my group, but I'll say it to you, Angelina. If you're sending like a fundraiser, you know, like a link, one of the ones where you, like you said, you click on the link and donate, you know, just ask your teacher or your advisor or your counselor to send it to us as well. You know, we more than happy would love to support you guys. So part of how the statewide office can help is, you know, when we get to know what all your fundraisers, of course, I wish I could come to your iced coffee, but you know, if I'm not in the area, I can't come. But at least if it's like an online one that we can like click on and donate, or GoFundMe, please make sure to always have your teacher, your counselor, your advisor, you know, send that to us. That way we can support you if we can, right?
And I was also with our LA team that, you know, as part of that too, that sometimes if we're able to, that we'll like to support them physically going over there and being there for some of their efforts. So to just, you know, reach out to us, and if we're able to do it, we would gladly do so.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Anything else you want to add, Angelina, about what you guys talked about? Any like really cool ideas come up?
No, that's pretty much all we talked about. It's mainly, you know, having the social events.
Angelina, do you want to speak to what also came up in terms of reaching out to parents and getting them re-involved after COVID?
I don't remember. Did we say we wanted to include them more? I don't remember what we talked about for the parents.
Yeah. Well, it came up in our conversation that, you know, they're having a little bit more challenges now in terms of getting participation after COVID, because some people don't feel as close to Puente as if they would have been participating from the get-go in person. And some of the schools are having a little bit of challenges in getting parents involved as well. So that they were talking about doing activities that would include the parents, like maybe even one of those potlucks events, to just get them like reconnected back to the Puente at their school sites. So.
Right. Okay, awesome. I love that idea. Okay, so let's go to the Shining Stars. That was Mr. Gonzalez's group. Mr. Gonzalez, who was your reporter? It's your time to shine like a star, shining star. Let's see.
Zulette.
Okay, hold on, let me get here. Sorry about the scrolling. Here's a little cute little shining star. Okay, Zulette, you want to kind of walk us through your notes?
Yeah, of course. So what we wanted to mainly focus on for our vision was involving our upper and lower classmen into more social activities and events, maybe some community service events, just mainly having them work together because I heard from underclassmen that it can be a little intimidating and a bit troubling connecting with older, the upperclassmen. So we really want to involve both upper and underclassmen and build more community ties with them and just grow a strong familiar relationship. To fund our vision, we were going to, we want to have more socials and different types of ice-breaking activities with them. So by doing that, by funding those socials such as like movie nights or different like perhaps a winter social in December, we're gonna need like food for those events, like small snacks at least. So ways to fund that would be selling holiday grams. At our school, we did sell Thanksgiving grams recently. So it was just saying who you're grateful for and a little cute little sentiment. So that would be nice. Also by selling fireworks during the summer. I know some of our programs do that at school. Other ways are just having our Puentistas give a $5 donation, something small to contribute into like gathering all those little donations and buying things for our program. Also by selling snacks at our school, like little drinks at our social events. And also by fundraising with like school-wide movie nights or like small potlucks for our school. And then the support we want from like our staff at our school would be to contribute to small donations and promoting our program and just having that community mind with our whole student body. And then we want to advertise our events. So our staff would be able to do that, like just in the announcements, in our school announcements, perhaps in our school newspapers, whatever have you. And support that we want from like the statewide office would be more leadership grants. I think the recent one, especially with the extension, was very helpful, but having that funding, not only from like our community, like our student body and our community, from like the statewide office would be nice as well.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you for that. Let's go to, I believe it was the Redwoods, Ms. Martinez's group.
All right, I think we have Bella.
Who was our reporter here? Let me get to the screen.
Hi, I'm the reporter for the Redwoods.
Okay, hello.
Hi, so pretty much what we talked about in our groups was our main vision was to build community within our programs and create a safe space for Puentistas so they can share whatever they want to, whether that be their culture, their ideas. We just wanted to, especially after quarantine, how I feel like we've kind of lost that bond. Our main goal is just to regain that bond again, whether that be by events, socials, and other activities.
Okay, and then how are you going to fund that vision?
We want to fund our visions basically by just doing fundraising, whether that is online fundraising. I really like that idea. Just because of COVID and everything, it's more easier to do things online now. Also just selling at school. I know because of COVID restrictions, that might be hard, but that's what we're aiming towards for our school at least. Just selling, fundraising, doing restaurant fundraising and stuff like that.
Yeah, let me see, I'm trying to... And then what supports do you need from the statewide office?
The support that we need is mostly just fundraising, and we also want to create events to promote Puente to our schools, because I feel like a lot of people at our schools don't really know what Puente is. They've heard of it, but they don't really know what our mission is or our goals. And I feel like if we had more support from the statewide office in that sense, more people would feel included and like they'd want to join Puente.
Anything else you want to add, or kind of what supports or anything else?
I think that's it for me. That's pretty much what we talked about in our group.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then last but not least, my group, the Fantastic 10, which we were more than 10, but that's okay. Let's see. I believe we had Jacqueline, who was our speaker. Let me get to our screen. Yeah, go ahead, Jacqueline.
Okay, so for our vision for art clubs was getting to like have a balance for also like activities, and then having that connection with the whole class, because since COVID, after taking the classes during Zoom, it was difficult for people to make friendships, but also having the other balance too for the education for other people. And then having like more, having also safe place for the Puentistas, and being more having a safe place for the Puentistas to feel safe around us and the whole class, and wanting to have more educational resources, and then having more sources to like education. Yeah. And then
All right, I'm trying to get it to you. There we go. Okay. And then how are we going to fund this vision? All those visions we've kind of talked about.
well, we're thinking about having field trips, supplies, things that we need to do together, and then also helping to try to make a Puente Club, and then more opportunities to have more shelters, American Red Cross, having more community, including fundraisers, that everyone can come together and participate and get closer to have that family bond.
Definitely. Okay, and then how can the statewide office support you with this?
Well, we think that you guys could like help us by like leading us, helping us organize the field trips and activities, give us some like tips on what we or suggestions that you guys could help us to like just start the club, or like what will we need, and then just also giving us more education resources, replacing books that are old and broken, telling us ideas what we could do to like inform people about joining Puente.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Anything else you want to add about anything we talked about?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, all of the groups. I know I thoroughly enjoy getting to meet with all of you and everybody in my group. And I can say the same for my colleagues. I'm sure we all really enjoy getting to talk to you. Miss Anna is going to put in the chat right now our evaluation. So part of all of the conversations we're having, right, and part of what we do is, we look at your evaluations, we go back and say, okay, we hear what you're talking about. We know that you guys, are asking these certain things from us. And so if you want to just take maybe, Anna, can I give them like 1 minute, 2 minutes at least to do the evaluation? And then we're going to come back with just a really quick announcement. And we're going to try to get you, out here on time. So let's just have maybe 1 minute. Go ahead and click on the evaluation. It's also in the chat. And then we will be back in about 1 minute. Thank you.
Trying to make a message, stay alive. Person snake coming towards my way. Take a mom, close down any Out in the summer, take you to the cinema. Hello, they know about ya. Something bigger than us, bigger than life.
And as you're filling out the evaluation, there's a question on there about participating or being part of our website. So obviously one of the ways, we get to communicate with you guys is these summits and these events. But we also are looking to see if we can have, a couple of students kind of help us work through or talk through some ideas. And we want to hear from you guys, right? You guys are the experts in what you want to hear and what you want to learn. So that you'll see that question on the evaluation. So if you're interested on having us reach out and, have you be part of our team when we're planning these events and planning our website for students that hopefully we'll be launching soon. Go ahead and hit yes on that on the evaluation, and then we'll reach out to you. Thank you. And then I think that's probably a minute. I want to try to get you out on time. So I don't have really much else. If you want to finish the evaluation, our next summit will be Saturday, April 30th. It will be the last one for the year, but we have had so much fun, talking about leadership with you guys in the beginning of the year and this session. And so we're super excited for April 30th to kind of end the year with this amazing group of students. So we're so excited you were here with us. And I think that's it. I'm just going to say our favorite tagline, which is once a Puentista, always a Puentista. Thank you.